Hey cuties, PeachY here, welcome back to a new video, and in this video we're going to take a look at 10 Monster High characters that I would love to see brought back into this new generation of Monster High. And if you stick around to the very end, I'll even have some bonus additions, so stick around and let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, I really want Gil to come back, and I'm pretty sure he will come back. I mean, Laguna in her music video, which I did a breakdown of if you haven't seen it already, she talks about, she wants to find love, and Gil and Laguna have always been a couple. They've always been together. They've always had a thing. So this is from the very early days of Monster High that it's been canon. They've been a couple just as long, almost as long as when Cleo and Deuce have been a couple. So they are one of the OG couples of Monster High. So I'm 99% sure that he will come back, and I would love for him to come back because I just feel like him, Laguna, they make a good pair. And I feel like with this new iteration of Laguna, it could even be more interesting. And who knows, even maybe they will even change Gil really differently. So I really think this could be really interesting. Not just romantically would it make sense, but also because Gil was always part of the original Mansters group. Manny, Deuce, Claude, Heath, and all those characters, they are in this new generation of Monster High. So I feel like it would be only fitting for Gil to also have a little return. And I also want Slow-Mo to come back because just like with Gil and Laguna, Gulia and Slow-Mo were always a pair. They've always been together, and their romance is especially really sweet because, obviously zombies are completely different monsters to anyone else in Monster High. They have their own language as well. So they always, moan and stuff, and it's just so sweet. So I feel like they have like a really good chemistry, and I really want to see Slow-Mo return, even if he has speaking lines in the show, like with, Gulia speaks in this new generation. So even if they act more normal quotes, than the original versions in Monster High, I still want to see them be together and come. I don't know, I just feel like Slow-Mo could be really cool with Gulia, and also because once again they might change him up as well. Next up, I would love to see Escalita Calavera's return as well. She is one of the most unique looking dolls ever from Monster High, and there's a bunch of unique looking dolls because Monster High is all about uniqueness, right? That's the whole thing. But even like that, she's basically the most unique looking one. She is literally a skeleton. Her whole body mold is so unique to her specifically, and she is a gorgeous doll. Also celebrating Dia de los Muertos, she's very diverse, and she also brings in much more representation. So I feel like she could be a very good addition to the new Monster High generation, design wise as well, because she just adds so much flair to the brand. I really hope they bring her back. Her design is just so good. I love the little orange, the little hairstyle. I love the makeup, that's on her face, her outfit, and I really want her to come back. Similarly, I also want Jennifer Long to come back because she just also offers a lot of representation and diversity. She was also released side by side with Escalita in the Scares lineup. So I feel like they both just came in very strong in that series. They are still to this day like one of the most iconic dolls that are not part of like the main squad. So they are, Jennifer is a dragon, right? That's her thing. She has like a tail. She's also very unique with her scales and her outfits, and her face up is beautiful. Just the heritage and the inspiration here that's seen throughout her outfits it's just so important as well, because in a doll market, representation really does matter. So because that's also what Mattel is really trying to talk about, that's really what they're trying to highlight. I feel like Jennifer could also be a very good addition to this new Monster High generation. I feel like she just would fit in very well. Next, Operetta. Obviously, duh, right? Because she has one of the biggest personalities ever. She is a very loud character. Also, I feel like her little scarring on her face is really nice. It's a really nice touch. So I feel like they could really also work with that really well. I just really want her to come back. I think she is a beautiful character. Her aesthetic is also very unique. It's, you know, very retro, very vintage, which is something that's really unique to her. None of the other characters really have that or capture that aesthetic. So she could be a really cool character. And then Venus McFlytrap, she obviously would be also a great choice. She came out after School's Out with alongside Rochelle, Rebecca, and Jackson, right? So they were also part of like the OG gang, and so I really want to see her come back, because also her whole hobby with, you know, eco-friendliness and like speaking out about like, you know, recycling and, you know, being more eco-friendly. I feel like that would be also a very clever way to also integrate, you know, talking about, you know, global warming and stuff like that into a kids line, which I mean, you got to think about it, right? That will be really smart for Mattel, because it also raises awareness for kids that, you know, stuff is really looking bleak. So I feel like she could be a great character to also just introduce a lot of stuff like that. So next we have another Manster, Holt Hyde / Jackson Jekyll, because I mean they're basically the same character, right? They are a staple, also because Frankie, Jackson, Holt have always been also kind of like a will they won't they, kind of like, you know, romantic thing. But Frankie has always had like a past with a lot of like different you know, romantic partners. You know, Frankie's always been like hopping from one partner to the next. They've always had interests in different partners. You know, Frankie never really had a boyfriend. It was always moving on, also between movies. So Holt was still a character that always stuck around, even after, even aside of being like a thing with Frankie. So I feel like that's why Holt Jackson is a really strong choice for a character, also for a male character, which I'm sure Mattel wants to add in more diversity with more male characters, more male dolls. So Holt / Jackson would offer that variety in strides, also because, you know, Holt and Jackson are two different characters. They are two different dolls, which is also very interesting, because then they could make dolls for both of those characters, like the original Monster High, right? And that makes more money. That means more money, right? So I feel like that could be a very good smart choice for Mattel, to bring back Holt and Jackson. That would be, I feel like, a very good choice. And they could also work with that aspect of like, you know, when does he switch characters? You know, when does he switch alter egos, right? Like, it used to be music, right? That would trigger him to change to Holt, but maybe they would change that. So who knows? I feel like that could be a very interesting aspect for the show as well. Then Rebecca Steam, she is also part of, she came out with Venus and Rochelle and Jackson. So she was also part of like the early wave or early signature wave dolls. She has to come back. If they're going to bring back Venus, they got to bring back Rebecca and Rochelle, which we'll get into a second. So I feel like Rebecca, they might change a little bit, they might not. I think she's a good character as is, even like taking into consideration like the new generation. I feel like her design could still work very well untouched in this new iteration. So I feel like she could work very well. Her color scheme is new, right? She is a robot. There aren't any robots so far in this world of Monster High that we've seen, so right? So she could also add a lot of variation and diversity. So she could be a very interesting character. And then, of course, Rochelle Goyle. She is a fan favorite. Mattel would be dumb to not add her in. She is a cutie. Look at that hair color, and also the uniqueness of her body sculpt, where it looks like it has like marble, like little dots, like, right, that little effect of making it look like stone. That is really nice. It's a really nice touch. I've always liked that on her. I mean, Venus, Rochelle, Rebecca, they could maybe even form their own little group. That would be awesome. And lastly, we have Caddy Noir, probably one of the biggest fan favorites there is. She is a precious doll. I mean, this one especially, which is actually one of the ones that I've gotten the most recent, aside for Haute Couture. I mean, like from the original wave of Monster High dolls. This Caddy Noir, her original signature look here is stunning. I love the train effect, the little layer, all the layers of fabric, the silver like little shine particles on her dress, her skirt, and the glass shattering effect on her boots and the top, and her high ponytail. She was pulling an Ariana Grande pony before even Ariana was doing it. So, you know, she's an iconic character, and her musical talents could also maybe stay. I hope they keep that if they bring her back. And maybe she can even be more than just a pop star. And like I promised, here are 2 bonus characters that I would like to see brought back as well. So Monica Decay, she was actually a creation from the Generation 2 of Monster High, or technically speaking, Generation 1.5 in 2016. But her character in the movies is really cool. I love her, you know, villainous, like, aspect to her, that she's like very, you know, aggressive but mean, but also not like too mean. Like, you know, by the end of the first movie, she's like, oh, she's being beaten, right? And in the second movie, she even goes to Monster High. So like she is just a really fun kind of like villain character, like Toralei, but also more like maybe more evil. So I feel like she could be a fun character definitely to have. And my second bonus character would be Claudia Wolf, because Howleen, Claude, obviously Claudine, they are all in this new generation. So I feel like Claudia, they need to bring her back, and then the whole family is back again, you know. So I feel like she definitely has to come back, just like Howleen. Howleen is coming back, so why not Claudia? I feel like maybe Claudia's not as popular, obviously, but she's part of the gang. I mean, look at this picture, they look so cute together. And those were 10 characters that I would love to see brought back for Generation 3 of Monster High. Which characters do you agree with, and which characters do you want to see brought back into this new generation of Monster High? Yeah, that was the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Be sure to give me a big thumbs up if you did. Leave me any thoughts, questions you may have down below, and as always, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't already, so you don't miss out when I post more Monster High doll news, doll reviews, episode reaction videos, and a bunch more content coming our way daily and keeping you up to date with what the dollty you love. Stay safe, be kind. I hope this next time stay PeachY. Kisses.